Hello Seekers, this is Wild Lee from Wild Lee Tarot, and this is your Moonday message on a Tuesday for the week beginning March 8th, 2021. Thank you so much for the grace and your patience in getting this 24 hours later than expected. I spent some time at the beach and I'm coming back well rested and ready to offer you what is available for us for the remainder of this week. So the main cards that came forward, I'm noticing, are Cups cards. So this week holds the potentiality for some really deep emotions, some deep emotional work. And this is not a bad thing. We should never be afraid of our emotions, right? Emotions are simply energy in motion. And this week is providing a collective portal for us to allow those feelings to begin to move. Let's keep it in context here. We have been in a collective pandemic for over a year now. Things are really sinking in. There's a lot of sensation of angst and despair. People around the world are having some difficult times. And even if you in particular are not having stress at the moment, we are all still collectively connected. We are all still a species and we can feel one another. We can feel the energy of this planet. We are connected to this planet, and this planet is also going through some stress. We are in a space and a time of stress. So let's just acknowledge that, accept it, and recognize that when in spaces like that, emotions will arrive and they will request space and time so that they can move, which is beautiful. It's so healthy, right? If we suppress, if we push those emotions down, if we don't allow them the space and the air to be felt, then they end up residing in the physical body. You know, I'm sure you've heard that phrase, our issues are in the tissues, and that is true. If we do not allow our emotional bodies to process and release whatever has started to gunk up the field or the system, then we will end up dealing with dissonance in the body, in the field later on. So this week is a beautiful time for us to let the emotions flow so that we can have a clear channel, a clear conduit to begin manifesting what it is we want to come into our lives next. We are in this very tender and liminal space of being able to dream into reality what it is we are calling forward. So the first card we have here, Knight of Cups. Let's see if you can see that. And this is a gorgeous card. The Knights are all about motion. They're all about stepping outside of our comfort zone. They're about getting things moving, and this one in particular in the realm of the emotional body. And what I love about this card is that it's so warm, it's so inviting with these beautiful oranges and these lovely cream colors and gold. And this knight, this being, is holding the cup up, out, and these emotions are simply moving out. You know, we, particularly in America, in United States culture, we are so closed off and so fearful of vulnerability and actual emotional feelings, both in ourselves and in those around us. It has been shamed out of us. We have been indoctrinated through our culture, through these systems that were put into place long before many of us were born, to think that emotions and feelings are somehow a weakness. And that's simply not true. And the Knight of Cups helps to teach us this, that it can actually be one of our greatest strengths to show how we are feeling, to hold that cup out of our feelings and simply allow them to flow in and out. I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm joyful, I'm frustrated. It's amazing that when we actually acknowledge the kernel of truth in those feelings in the moment as they're happening, that we can often feel a lightening or a dissipation of that charge. If we simply are very truthful and say, what you just said, I feel angry about that. I feel triggered. I am feeling this, and I feel like I need to process, or I feel like we need some sort of reparations here. If we're in right relationship, someone should be able to receive those words without taking them personally. And suddenly we're communicating, and it's not such a big deal. The Knight of Cups really helps us to recognize that feelings don't have to be a big deal. They can just come and go and allow us to be more honest with ourselves and each other and our boundaries. And this is supported here with the Page of Cups. So again, we've got that Cups element, and this is the card right before the Knight, which says that we need to take some space this week and some time to be by ourselves, to be with those feelings. We can't often share what is moving through us if we aren't really clear within ourselves of what that is first. So if you happen to be a person who is still learning to navigate their feelings, still learning to put language to their feelings, it's fine. No shame, no judgment. We are all on this journey together, my friends. So if you need to, take some space. If you feel something being triggered, you feel something coming to the surface, but you don't yet have the words to be able to show your cup, then the page says that's okay. Take it to your bedroom, take it to the bathroom, take it to your journal, take it outside, sit with it, feel the discomfort until the name of it bubbles up, until the language for it comes forth. And it will. Once we get beyond the story and we start to just tune into the actual feeling itself, then we can often find how it is somehow linked to something from our past that's being re-triggered, that we're revisiting some trauma or some experience that's still hidden in the body. We are so connected, and this tricksy universe just loves to bring experiences back over and over and over again until we learn the lessons of how to be in right relationship. And so often, especially as we age, we may come into conflict with one another, and our responses, our reactions may be much larger than they actually need to be with regards to the experience that we're having right now in this moment. This card, the Page of Cups, helps to teach us that, to allow us to take the space to sit with the feelings and get really clear on what's mine and what's yours and what actually belongs to something that I haven't yet processed from the past. And finally, we have the Seven of Swords. And this card says that this is not a week to allow ourselves to be distracted or to fall into the daydreams of what was. This card is all about taking in the medicine that we can just be with our discomfort. Now, sometimes we're going to choose something different. I myself am no stranger to the occasional Netflix binge or the need for something crunchy, salty when it is clearly not a mealtime. You know, let's offer ourselves compassion. Let's offer ourselves gratitude. We are, after all, simply animals. We're animals with really big brains and a different level of consciousness, but we're still just animals. Our bodies still have these nervous systems that get triggered, that get stressed, and we have a lot of coping skills that our culture and our family of origin and our location have given us, such as media and snacks and sex, drugs, alcohol, whatever your comfort groove might be. Just recognize that those are all choices that the brain now has a groove in that says, oh, when I'm really stressed out, when I'm really emotional, when I'm really having trouble being present with what is here right now, which is very uncomfortable, then I go to blank. I go to marijuana. I go to Tinder. I go to whatever your version of crunchy salty is. We all have it. It's part of the human experience, and it's nothing to be ashamed of or feel shame about. And when the Seven of Swords comes up, it says, let's watch that. When we are in this cups week, when the emotions might be high, when we might be processing more than we normally do, let's notice when we fall back on these patterns. Not that we're trying to, or that we're should or having to ourselves. I dislike those words. You should do this. You have to do that. It's ridiculous. You don't have to do anything. You are on this ride as this huge psycho-spiritual being in this little tiny human animal body, and you get to choose exactly what you want your experience to look and feel like. You get to choose. So if you want to Netflix it up all week, by all means do it and own it and enjoy the hell out of it. And if you want to practice your skills on sitting with discomfort, on being with what is, so that you can increase your capacity to sit with those things, because as we all age, we have to sit with discomfort more and more until we get to the day of our death, which is also potentially quite uncomfortable. And these are all truths and facts of being alive, and it's no big deal. And if you choose to practice sitting with these emotions, cool. Then maybe think of this Seven of Swords, and if you can catch yourself, maybe this is something that you would normally do every night, but maybe 2 nights this week you choose not to and instead take a bath or massage your feet or go to bed early and read a book. Whatever might be more nourishing for you. It would be super supportive this week to allow yourself the choice, right? Just to allow ourselves that choice point of how we want to ride our ride in this lifetime. And then finally, the animal that is here to support us this week, lamb. Lamb is all about softening and surrendering to what is, even as these big passions of springtime energy move through us. And it's also about opening ourselves up to intuition and to the way in which intuition moves through the body. It's very gentle. Our internal voice, our guides, our source, whatever language you put on that knowing, it's not screaming at us. It's giving us a gentle lamb nudge with its soft head and saying, hey, remember me? I'm always here and available for you whenever you would like my support. But it's never going to rush in and take over. Lamb never takes over your choice. It's simply an offering of another way of doing things. That feels like the message this week. I hope that it serves you well. I hope that you have everything that you need. If you are looking for some support, I do still have 2 available appointments this Thursday if you would like to tune in. And then I have some at the end of the month, maybe 3 more sessions at the end of the month, and then March is full and we're looking into April. So if you'd like to sit with me, if you'd like to share some space, get some more clarity on your life and what you're moving through, I welcome you in. Please connect with me and we'll get that set up. Otherwise, have a beautiful day, and I will see you next Monday.